Hey, good morning, everybody. I wanted to introduce, welcome everybody to our first, this is what you would call our interpretation of a morning talk show.
Yeah.
We had thought about doing something like this for a long time, and it always seems like there's more and more stuff. We get busier and busier. And so we just finally thought, well, let's quit making excuses and let's do this. So welcome to Paw Talk. Wasn't quite sure of a name to go off of. Haley thought it was like a Paw Patrol
From
reference.
Paw Patrol, yes, with my toddlers.
And so I had to do a little bit of research on the Paw Patrol because I don't have any reason to watch Paw Patrol. So as we go on, as the weeks go by, maybe if we can think, or if you can think of a better name, then we can certainly change this. But for now, it's just going to be Paw Talk.
Paw Talk.
Because I like the logo,
Yes.
and I thought it was perfect.
And it was easy.
It was. So let me just start out with, thanking everybody for coming and joining us. This is going to be a weekly or deal.
Every Friday.
Every Friday about 9 o'clock. And, we're not set on a time length. It's really, the reason why we're doing this is because we have so much stuff going on, Humane Society. Goods, we have bads, we have in-betweens, we have fun days, and we have bad days. And with the growth that we are going to be doing with the Humane Society, and certainly with our name change, which we'll talk about in a second, we want to take people on this journey. What are some of the things that you think we'll be talking about?
Oh gosh, definitely keeping it different. Every week we don't want to cover the same things because we never deal with the same things here. I mean, it's every single day we come into something new, whether it be a sick animal, someone needing rescued, we have new volunteers. I mean, it's always something new. We would love to do interviews with people, whether it be from veterinary medicine or just fosters in general, volunteers. Even interviews with some people, doing, just their experiences, if they've ever had animals here at the Humane Society, and just fun games. We might think of something we could do, some trivia or whatnot, and, just keep it different. Maybe talk about events coming up, whether it be adoption events, just depending on what we have going on during the week.
Who are you?
Well,
I just realized
that is very true.
I just realized we forgot to introduce
My name is Haley
ourselves.
Robinson. I am a program assistant here with the Humane Society. I've been here over a year, probably close to a year and a half now. And I come with a strong animal background. I've worked with animals since I was in high school, since I was about 15. And I started as a kennel technician at a local animal hospital and worked my way up. I did some vet tech assisting work. I did some reception work as well. Then I had some children, stayed home for a while, started my work in shelter medicine in 2019, and eventually landed here in 2020, and I've been here ever since. I do everything from adoptions, fostering, and I help with adoption events. I answer the phones here. I do administrative work, just whatever's needed. You need it, and I'll do it. Who are you?
Well, we were joking about this before when we were doing our little pre-session here. Well, my name is Cody Storm, and I'm the director for the Humane Society. And unlike Haley, I actually did not have a very extensive animal background. I came from the training, design, and development world for a retail pharmacy, and I was there for about a little over 15 years. And just with the growth of that company, my life course changed. I tried to be a stay-at-home dad for a little bit, and it just wasn't something for me. I did a sales job for a couple years, and it was just one of these things where the job posting had come up. And I always tell people, you never think you want to get into animal rescue as a career until you see it pop up as a job posting. It's just, I don't know how people think that animals get rescued. No, it's just some sort of magical animal fairy that comes by and saves the animals.
Yeah.
And I'd seen the job posting it was at the Humane Society as a volunteer coordinator. Mm-hmm. And I looked through the, obviously, clearly qualified.
Obviously.
But it was one of those things where it just, once I got involved with the organization, I think Haley can attest to this, is that you're either right for it or you're not right for it. There's no in between. And if you have a passion for it, then it becomes very addictive. And with the volunteers, with the employees that we have right now, not only with here, but also at the thrift store, you become addicted to it.
That's a good way to put it.
You feel every day that you show up, it's, there's not a lot of careers that I can think of where you can go home and think, I saved this animal, I saved this animal, I kept this animal from, out of harm's way, I did this, and this. And you can count all the ways that you stood up for an animal, something that doesn't have a voice.
Right. It's just so fulfilling, and there's never a day, I know you can agree that we never dread coming to work. It's one of those things, I'm up, I'm ready to go. Like, I look forward to coming in and doing what we do. I never have had a day that I think, oh my God, I just don't want to go to work this morning. I will be here, nonstop. And it's one of those things, we're supposed to get off at a certain time, but if an animal needs our help, we're here. And I just couldn't imagine having it any other way. It's just a very fulfilling job. It's not something that is made for everyone, but it's definitely made for us, and we couldn't imagine being anywhere else.
And that's, one of the things too, there's just so much information that we want to give. One of the big parts of this, I don't know, is it called a podcast, I guess?
Podcast, get it?
That is funny. Podcast. So we'll call this a podcast.
Yes.
Is we've got so many education pieces. For example, one of the things that I'm going to let Haley kind of talk about is, one of our big programs is our foster and adoption program. And I guess there's a lot of misconceptions about what happens when somebody fills out an application for us here at the Humane Society. If you look at it, with things posted online, it can touch billions of people. Everybody has access to a web address. They can go and they can peruse the animals. They can fill out an application. And unfortunately, every animal is unique. Every animal in a litter is got a specific personality. They've got a specific color pattern, but there's only one of them. And so, do you mind elaborating just a little bit more about our adoption process?
Sure. So we are a foster-based organization, and a lot of people don't know what this means. So to put it quite simply, our animals stay in foster homes. We have an organization here with a foster-based community that, if we have an animal in need, we've got fosters that step up to help. And we take in litters of puppies, and it's very rare that the puppies have to stay here. We always get them placed in homes, so they get to be in a home environment as opposed to in a cage while they wait for their forever home. We have people apply online, and so if they're interested, they would go and view their bios. They complete the application there, and then we would contact them to set up a meet and greet. So that would mean that we set up a time that's good for not only the foster, but you too. And you come here and you get to meet the animal. Now, of course, you have to be an approved adopter beforehand. So the application's there online. We review applications, and it's no surprise if we get 50 or more applications for a single puppy. So it helps us narrow down what would be a good fit for each animal and for each person as well.
And we're just saying this from the human side of it is we truly do want to match up the right animal with the right person. And it is heartbreaking to only have that one opportunity for that one animal to go to the right home. But
it is. There's so many instances that we'll see that 5 families would have been a great fit. And it's hard for us to narrow down exactly who would be the best, but we have to go with our gut, and we have to go with what we feel is going to be best. And we always tell people, don't be discouraged. We save animals on a daily basis. There's always going to be more. We'll find out what they're looking for, personality-wise, what they need to meet their criteria for a pet for their home. And we try and match them with that in the future. So it's not like just because you can't adopt the one animal you're interested in that it's just over. You can always adopt in the future.
Perfect. And I was going to ask that too. And so if we do take the applications in the order that they're received. If for some reason, that person is lower on the pile because they filled out later, can we carry that application over to another animal?
We can. Oftentimes we will call the applicant and state, say you had a great application, but we had questions regarding your vet references or your pet history or the type of home you live in, if it's going to be fit for a certain sized animal or whatnot, just to find out a little more information. And, it can always be moved on to another dog. So you can always move your application, and that goes for cats too, obviously. But you can move your application to any animal that you're interested in once you're considered approved. So we try and work with you to get you approved, regardless of the animal.
Okay. And does that apply the same with cats and kittens?
Same thing for cats and kittens. I feel like we're only talking about dogs here, but obviously we have cats and kittens too. Same thing. What? We have cats?
Yeah, we have a lot of cats.
We do. Yeah. Come adopt these cats, please. Cats and kittens. We've got tons. They're great.
If someone wants to visit an animal, what are some of the steps that they would take to visit or get to meet that animal?
Yeah, so we would require them, say someone calls in and says, I'm interested in Fluffy and I want to come see Fluffy. I would say, okay, well, Fluffy's currently in a foster home. Please go to our website, find the application. I'd be happy to explain how to find that and fill it out once we have it, as long as you're approved. If we have any questions, we would call you, but we would let you know when would be a good time to come, and we would try and get you set up to meet the animal as soon as possible within a few days.
Okay. And what about fostering? I know we're currently looking to expand our programs, and if you haven't watched it, we hosted our Dogwood and Cat Hills 2021 ball. You probably recognized us as we walk around Johnson City.
We're famous, obviously.
Elizabethan.
The Carter County.
So I'm like, please, guys. But we did a nice video presentation, and we talked a lot about the different programs that we have and a lot of different things that we are doing and expanding. Do you want to elaborate just on some of the new foster programs that we're looking to expand and maybe, solicit help for?
Definitely. Two of our biggest things that I'm most excited for are Linda Paw and our domestic violence, which is Hopeful Paws. Both of those we really need to stress the importance of assistance with. We really need people that are willing to step up. And, Linda Paw focuses on veterans and their needs. So say while they're getting medical treatment, if you're willing to open up your home and your heart to an animal temporarily, we need it. And same thing for Hopeful Paws. That's for people that are trying to get out of domestic violence situations, and we partner with crisis centers and we get you set up. And for both programs and even our foster program in general, we supply everything you would need. You don't have to pay a dime to foster for us. We only ask that you're open to bring animals to adoption events if it's our general foster program, or if, say, we can have visitation with the family member that's needing help. If you're willing to bring them there for that, you just have to have some flexibility with appointments and scheduling and whatnot. But we supply food, bedding, toys, anything that they would need while you're fostering. You don't have to worry about it. Just have to have an open home and an open heart.
Okay. And stay tuned. We have a lot of the entire organization is just full of ideas. So
yes.
So but that's good, because I think you can't have growth without ideas and the ability to see past a month or 2 months or 6 months, and you have to have a plan.
Big picture kind of people. We like to see what's ahead, and we like to have ideas that we want to bring to fruition. And we have great plans for the Humane Society, which is soon to be the Appalachian Highlands Humane Society.
And that brings us to a great point. we have our brand new Appalachian Highlands logo. So tell us, Haley, what this means for us in our area.
Being the Appalachian Highlands Humane Society is going to allow us to...
Actually, before you even... Before that...
Yeah.
Why are we changing our name?
Well, We oftentimes get confused with the Washington County Animal Shelter, which, you know, we work with them often. They're wonderful, but we want to be our own organization. You know, we want to have people know who we are with no confusion. We want to be able to help as many in the community as possible. So with us being the Appalachian Highlands Humane Society, that would allow us to reach all regions. You know, we don't just have to focus on Washington County. We can help anyone in need wherever they need it. We're going to be there.
And when you say help an animal in need, I guess what would that look like specifically?
Oh gosh, well, I mean, it would include all of our rescue procedures, you know, our typical intakes on animals, but we would love to extend our programs with community food and with the spay-neuter program and everything that we do now with Washington County. We want to be able to help more. You know, we want to be there for everyone that needs it.
And that's absolutely right. The name, the Humane Society, with it having the word Washington County in it, it really is not, it's not a good representation of
what we do.
Yeah. Right now. Maybe 4 or 5 years ago, you know, it was a good representation, but with the growth, especially with our amazing pet food pantry, our foster program, our spay and neuter vouchers, the amount of counties that we work with right now, from, all the way down to Hamlin County, Greene County, Western North Carolina in some cases. You know, I got an email from a rescue over in northwestern North Carolina.
Wow.
Needing help with their clients to set up vet appointments in our area for spay and neuter. And, you know, you look at this need all across the United States. I mean, let's be honest, all across the world.
Oh, yeah.
So we wanted a name truly that represented that. And, you know, we get calls from everywhere, and we want to be able to do what we can to help animals. I mean, it's really exciting. And, you know, when you subscribe to this channel, I had to ask my son what the lingo was. My 13-year-old son, he says you have to smash that like button.
Yes.
Turn on your notifications.
Oh, yeah.
And
please subscribe.
And subscribe, that's it. There's like a lingo to it. But it's going to be an amazing journey. And we have, it just, as we progress and where we've been and where we're going to, you're going to see every step of the way on what we're doing. And you're going to be a part of it.
Yeah, we're very excited. You know, this is our first video, so stick around. We're going to have lots more. We're going to have fun things, we promise. We're not as boring as we seem.
No, it'll be very fun.
Yes.
Let's segue into it. I wanted to, you know, one of the sections of this is I wanted to recognize some of the animals that we've had that have gone on to successful adopted homes. Because, I mean, that's a big part. When you come in every single day and you interact with the animals, you get to learn that every animal has a story. And in some cases, you know, the animals, when they show up, they're not in good shape. And we are able to do what we can to get them where they need to be. And it's nice to see that progression from when they show up at our front door to they're with
get their forever home.
An amazing family.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start with our girl Maisie, and I wish I had time to. I wish I had a. What was it? Yeah. This is Maisie, and Maisie has a very important part in both Haley's and mine career. Because she came in shortly after we had started at the Humane Society. I believe she came in August of 2020.
Yeah, late August, early September.
And she was a underweight, I think she was about 55 pounds. And I'll give you a comparison here in a minute. But a 55-pound pit boxer terrier mix, pregnant as can be.
She was huge. Her poor belly.
And she was a scared dog with anxiety, not sure about men, just was not, just had a rough lot in life. And she was fortunate enough to be able to come to the Humane Society. Towards the end of September, she ended up giving birth to 11 puppies. Haley was working that night. Luckily, I think it was a Sunday.
Yes, it was. It was a Sunday, a weekend shift, and we knew labor was soon. We didn't know exactly how soon. I came in and started doing my thing, cleaning the animals, and I go in there, check on her, and out pops a puppy, and another one, until she had 11 total.
11 puppies.
Yes, and it was just amazing getting to see that and to know that she felt comfortable and trusted me to be there with her. I mean, she let me help her clean up her puppies and get her comfortable while she labored. It was just an amazing experience. That's something I wish everyone could do at one point in their life, is witness a dog give birth. I mean, it's just amazing.
Things started at 6 and at about 11:30. And in that case, we had a camera set up. You just have to let nature do its thing. It's, animals are typically, dogs are not very receptive if you try to lend a hand. It's just not the way not the way nature works.
No, because they're born knowing what to do. It comes naturally to them. But Maisie truly trusted me, and the look in her eyes as she had those puppies, she was so proud of herself to be a mother too, and it was a wonderful experience. And she was such a good mom too.
She was an amazing mother. 11 were born. One had hydrocephalus, but he lived, it was about 16 weeks. Everybody got their forever home. They had just an absolute, all successful adoptions. But unfortunately, Maisie just didn't have that opportunity. Had a foster for a little bit. And that worked out great, but that foster ended up having to move to a different state. We just were not able to get Maisie into a new foster, or even someone that was going to be a good adopted family.
An appropriate home for her. And not to mention the fact she was also battling heartworms during this entire...
Oh, yeah, that's right.
She's actually heartworm negative now, which we are very excited about. But she battled heartworms for months. And, that was something that required a lot of treatment and a lot of dedication. And now she's heartworm free, which is amazing.
So, fast forward to about 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago. She's been living here at the building. Plenty of love and attention from all the staff members. She gets plenty of time outside. She had car rides. Would take her to the park. She had plenty of attention, but she needed to find her forever home. And that happened 2.5 weeks ago. A woman and her boyfriend came, and I think we spent 2.5 hours all together because we wanted to make sure that this was going to be the right home. Went for walks. We basically had a meeting out in the front yard between the dog and myself and Mary, the one of the board members, and we all sat there and just sort of, I don't know what it's called. I don't want to say meditating because Maisie...
It was the longest meet and greet in history.
It was.
We just wanted to make sure that was the right fit, And it broke my heart. I actually missed that. So I said my goodbyes to Maisie the day before, cried a little. And, I'm so happy for her, and we all are. It's sad to see an animal go, but like we said, to know that they're in that perfect home with who they're meant to be with is just the best feeling. So it's worth the tears for sure.
It was a hard day. My son was extremely bonded to her.
Very.
And we FaceTimed. It was a line of people. We had some volunteers at the building that day. We had some staff members, and it was a line of people that wanted to hug Maisie goodbye because she had such an impact on us as who we are. I think when you wrap up everything from saving animals to saving their babies, the making sure that everything's screened and they go to the right home, and then she finally got to go to the right home. It was just, it was the perfect. It was a great outcome.
It was. It brings everything full circle. You know, it makes all the work that goes into what we do worth it.
Mm-hmm. But she's in a happy home.
Doing great.
Maybe next week I'll show you some update pictures of her.
Definitely.
You know, in her new forever home. So that was amazing. We also have, Johnny and June.
Johnny and June.
You know, we do if you subscribe to our Facebook, we have our employee bit where our employees are lounging, our employees are getting into things. We love Johnny and June to death. They are a bonded pair. They're a brother and sister duo. That if Johnny was somewhere, June was right behind.
Yeah.
If Johnny wanted to sit in your lap, then June was going to sit in your lap.
They were a package deal.
They were a package
both
deal.
Or neither.
If Johnny was going to sit there and stare at you, then if you turn around, June was going to be here.
Yes. They
were dropped off. It was a long, complicated story, but they didn't need to be with the family that they were with. Yeah. And we willingly took them back in because that's what we do.
That's what we do.
Yeah, and we had the ability to take care of them. And it was a couple weeks of, you know, it's like, these giant cats.
Do you remember when we said, so they're so large, we honestly didn't know what would be the most appropriate housing for these cats. So we set up a space downstairs thinking it would be ideal. You know, these cats are 20 pounds each. We didn't think they would really climb. We set them up actually in a giant dog kennel, and they had room. We could have easily fit in there, had a huge space to themselves. We thought, this will be great. You know, they'll be in here. We don't have to worry about it. Well, was it you that came in one morning and both the cats were gone?
They were gone.
And they escaped. They managed to climb out the top. So then we tried to rig up a roof-type ceiling deal. Did not work.
Bungee cords, zip ties, everything. And they were escape artists.
They were. So we made the decision to just let them roam. They became office cats while they were here. And we had them downstairs for a while, but their personalities were just so bold and so strong. They needed to be with humans, with people all the time. So they stayed upstairs with us, and in the mornings when we would come in, they would be the first ones to greet us. They were always there at that back door we come through, just waiting to see us. They had to come in our office, sit right in our face every single morning. That was their routine, you know, and it's been wild without them here, but they actually, how many days ago has it been that they've gone off to their home?
It was earlier in the week,
yeah.
So 3 or 4.
3 or 4 days ago. They went to a wonderful family. I'm very educated about cats and cat care in general. They have a little girl that is just in love with them, and they love her right back. So we are so, so happy for them.
It's Johnny and June. I was looking. I was trying to get some. It just, you know, the personalities in these cats, and they got. I mean, and they're eaters too.
Gosh.
For a while, we was like, maybe they need to lose a little bit of weight.
We put them on a diet,
and that didn't work.
No.
And we have a cabinet in our office, and when we prepare the food, anyways, they would open up the cabinet and they would take out the food. They were finding bags. They were chewing through bags of dry food.
Yes.
It was a constant battle, and they won every time.
Every time, we just gave up.
When we'd come in the door in the morning, we have a separate door that leads into the office that kind of keeps the cats contained in one area. They would be sitting there waiting, waiting for you.
We would like to think it was them waiting to see us, but they were waiting on us to feed
They were
them.
waiting to feed.
They just wanted the food.
And depending who got in first, you know, if I got in first that day, they'd come and see me and sit and bother me. And then if Haley came in second, they'd trot over her office.
Yeah.
But a big... very happy that Johnny and June went to their forever adopted home, and they went as a pair, because that's really what they needed to be. They just would not be able to operate by themselves.
No.
To the extent that they're able to now. Which, that brings us to a great transition point. Let's talk a little bit about our events.
Yes.
How we doing on
Right.
time? Oh.
Oh gosh. We actually had a trunk or treat event last night that
Mm-hmm.
was a great turnout. We actually ran out of candy and stuffed animals. We were amazed with how many people showed up in support, and when they realized who we were, so many people wanted pictures with the dog / Aiden, which was pretty funny. And poor Aiden, that costume's very heavy, very hot, hard to breathe in, and he was a trooper. I think Cody ended up stepping in at some point just because he did get so hot. But, it was a great turnout, and we had a ton of fun. We had kids galore. We gave out candy. We had stuffed animals. I mean, it was just so much fun.
This picture right here, so that's my 13-year-old son, who's, I think he's officially 5'8" now, 170. Anyways, so let's back up 35, maybe 40 minutes before that picture, and he had lost his phone. he had. So I was trying to think of I don't know. When he told me he lost a phone, the first thing I thought about was I've got the lost phone insurance.
Right, it'll be fine.
I clicked a couple buttons on my phone. I was able to shut down his. I had a little message on there that says, "Please call me if found."
Yeah.
But it was no big deal. And I know I've misplaced my phone a couple times, and I guess I just think everything's in the cloud now.
Yeah, you don't really worry.
If someone wants to get a hold of me, it'd be great to have a break from technology. But as a 13-year-old boy,
his world was just
his
ending.
world
The
was
look on his face
crap.
when he came and told me that his phone was gone. I said, "Aiden, are you okay?" He said, "No, my phone's gone."
Like he was like Pete panicky.
Oh, he was not having a good time.
We went
He
to
was
ETS.
So stressed.
We went to the ETSU because that was the last place he was at. He was playing football, whatever. We looked everywhere, and it just finally, before I got him in that costume, because it was just anxiety, and he was just not himself because he was worried about his phone. I gave him a solution. I said, "We'll wait 24 hours. If it's not found, whatever, we'll do whatever we can, and we'll get you a new phone." So he donned the costume, and then the first thing out of his mouth was, "It's hot in here." and I thought, oh my God, this is going to be a pain in the butt.
He did great, aside from wanting to take the head off the costume.
Kept taking the
and
head
we
off.
had to tell him that children don't understand why the dog has a body but a human head. So he did great. We had to remind him a couple times to keep the head on.
So about 30 minutes of him wearing the costume, he's like, "Daddy, I'm too hot." I'm like, "Give me the costume. Let me put this thing on, because there's no way it's as hot as you're making it seem to be." And let me tell you, that thing is hot. It was burning up.
And it smells, honestly. That's a dirty dog. It needs a good
It
cleaning.
needs a bath. But the event, we were out there. We gave away candy for the kids. We had dog toys, dog treats. It was the most fun that you can have wearing a dog costume. And at one point I told Haley, I said, "Haley, take a picture," because we had probably no less than 40 people in line.
Oh, it was wild. It was very exciting. I mean, we looked and it was just bukus of people just lined up, ready. And some had animals, some had kids, but we had treats for both. And some of the costumes, whether it be the children or the dogs, were just adorable. We got some pictures of those too. And it was just so much fun.
The best costume, I guess it was maybe a Boston Terrier
Was
dressed.
it? Yeah, or
Dress-
were they Frenchies? I can't remember. Anyway, one was the Frenchy fry.
A big pal Frenchy fry. One was a hot dog, one was a big pal Frenchy fry. And one of the things you'll get to know about me is, and I didn't know this, when you work in animal rescue, your food is either going to be really quick
or not at all.
Or it's going to be not at all.
Yep.
So I live off of Frenchy fries. But anyways, that was the best.
Pals.
That was the most
It was so cute.
amazing costume that had walked by. But
It was adorable.
with Halloween ending, I think it's on Sunday. We'll probably do. we'll probably have some more events out there, kid related, because that's really, in the grand scheme of things, that's the future of any organization.
Oh yeah, definitely the children. And knowing we have children ourselves that love animals as much as we do, we know there are more out there that want to help and want to get involved. So we want to advertise as much as possible and get our name out there and hope that your kids in the future would want to be a part of the Humane Society.
So stay tuned, because we're definitely, our public outreach is going to be, our public outreach game is going to be huge this year and going into the next year. We're in a lot of things.
Yes.
We are also going to be doing a little bit. Let me just tell you about our day today, not the brag or anything about our day. So we got here both probably about 6:50. Yeah. Well, we got here a little bit before 6:50.
Me 7-ish.
7 o'clock in the morning. So this is not I guess it is probably a typical day.
Yeah.
So we have a couple part-time employees that clean in the morning and one cleans in the evening. Luckily, that part-time employee is taking a vacation this week. So we cleaned all the animals. She cleaned the animals downstairs. I clean the animals upstairs. Typically, it's about an hour and a half per floor with the cleaning regimen, with the food, with the walking, and everything else. Got ready for this podcast at Pawcast.
So for the
I like
podcast
that.
At 8:30.
At 8:30
Yeah.
to make sure everything was in. Loaded some pictures up. As soon as we're done with this, just looking at the time, we are going to pack up the van, because we're going to do an adoption event at Belk, which I'll talk about in just a second. So we'll do an adoption event at Belk between 11 and 3 p.m.
Yeah. We'll have our usual vet visit for an animal or two. That is usually a part of our day, taking someone to the vet for something, whether it be surgery, a vaccine, an appointment.
We are doing one appointment.
Yep.
And then simultaneously, after we set up for the Belk event, I've got a couple people going to the Belk event. Then we have to pick up 2 deliveries for donations for the thrift store.
That's always a fun time too.
Then
always
we're
something different.
Go and pick the animal back up at the vet.
Yep.
Take them back to the building. I think there's a meet and greet a little bit later today.
Yeah, this evening we've got one scheduled.
And then we've got some medicine. We have specific medicine and cleaning regimens we have to do to certain animals in our care. And then we'll go home about 6.
Do it all again.
Do it all. Well, some people have to work this weekend.
Yeah, he over here has to work this weekend.
But again, we say that with a smile on our face because it's
exhausting. We always joke about whose back hurts worse, who's more tired. But honestly, it's just, we never dread it. It's exhausting, but we get up and do it every day, and we couldn't imagine doing anything else.
Yep.
We love it.
So we're doing an adoption event at Belk. I believe it's in the women's side, but if I'm wrong, just go to the men's side. It's at Belk,
somewhere in Belk,
at the Johnson City Mall, and we'll be there from 11 to 3. And one of the animals that we're going to have there is we have a special kitten named Vine. And let me show you a picture of Vine.
Vine.
So you can probably see from the picture why she's named Vine. And one day, so we have a dog area in the front of our building. It's fenced in. It's got a large tree, and that's where we take our dogs out. They interact, so on and so forth. My son one day was taking one of our larger dogs out, and he's very aware of his surroundings. And this particular dog went over to the tree and just was going nuts. Was barking, was scratching, was lunging at the tree. And so he wandered over there, pulled the dog back, and there was this poor little kitten that was tangled up in the vine at the base of the tree, all alone. It was a rainy, dreary day, and she was just there. We've speculated just how she got in there. We think possibly someone might have maybe tossed her over the fence.
Yeah, it unfortunately happens quite often.
It does. It just... I guess I don't understand why someone would. Well, I guess I do. But anyways, so she was sitting there, and she was tangled up. She had an eye that was just, it was shut. It was very gooey and goopy, and she was not having it. We have these leather Teflon handling gloves, and had to get them because she was not happy. She was scared, cold, everything else. So we got her out, and we got her into an amazing foster home. We actually thought that she was going to lose her eye. It had just become so much more infected. In fact, in this picture, you can even see just how glazed over it was. It had a film, but we had some medication. She went to go see the vet, and then look at that beautiful cat. Now she's happy. She's healthy. She appears to have sight in both eyes. She's got no issues. But this amazing kitten, and we will have several more along with several puppies, will be at Belk today. And so if you're in the area, come by and visit us from 11 to 3 and possibly take home Vine. Vine is an amazing kitten. She's been at my house for, 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's
Somewhere
been about a
around
month
there.
now, yeah.
She does great with people. I have 2 dogs. I've got a German Shepherd, and I've got I got Pit Terrier mix. The German Shepherd's not a big fan, but Vine and my dog Adine, I mean, they'll play. They love to run around the house together. She's great with her, and Adine is great with Vine. She's very loving. She's very chatty. She likes to just sit and watch you. If you're watching TV, she wants to be there. But she's going to be up for adoption. So come visit us today at Belk and meet Vine. All right, let me check to see what else we have.
Oh, wow. Fun fact, too, we have plexiglass on top of our offices here, so you never know who's going to climb across as you're working, and so someone just jumped from one side to the other. It's usually pretty scary. You never know. Oh, goodness. We are going to have some other animals at the Belk today.
We are.
Yeah, we're going to have some puppies who I'm not exactly sure. I believe it was Astrid and Neve, maybe Mimi. A couple of Husky Shepherd mixes. I know that from the litter. And then we're going to have Vine, of course, and I think maybe some other kittens. I'm not exactly sure, but there'll be more than just Vine there. So definitely come out and see us.
All right, so I'm looking at the time, and I know that I've got a lot of stuff to do.
I have more stuff to do. I have far more to do.
So I hope everybody enjoyed this. Found it informational.
Yes, informal. Hopefully we didn't bore you.
Got a chance to see our personalities, and I think as time goes on, you'll realize, just everything we do. But make sure you subscribe. Because we're going to be doing this again next week, and we're going to have some more special content for you. We've actually got a special dog in our system now, in our program, that had a terrible accident, and so she's only got 3 legs. So that's a teaser. You have to tune in next week
to find out why she only has 3 legs.
To find out why she only has 3 legs.
Yes.
And then hear about how we are going to make sure that she has an amazing life ahead of her. So make sure you tune in next week. And with that, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, guys.
We'll see you guys next week.